Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Reading Between the Lines. I am your host, the Water Dog, and today I'm going to be counting down my 10 favorite vampires from the set Anarchs. But before I do that, please do me the kind favor of hitting that subscribe button. It means a whole lot to me, and I really do appreciate it. Anarchs came out in 2003, and to me, this is really kind of a strange set in the fact that none of the vampires are really anarchs. They don't come into play as anarchs. So it's not like, when you're playing V5, that these vampires, the V5 vampires, they've got the word anarch, stitched into it. These vampires didn't. You either had to go anarch, or use the go anarch card. There's only like one vampire I can even think of in the set, and that's Jerry McNeil. And for him to go anarch, he has to, do the advancement. So that's kind of one of the things that you have to do is you do the advancement. So strange set when it comes to that, but it does introduce a lot of the Anarch mechanics that we get. So you get things like, the three-way card, the three disciplines, you get the barons, all of that stuff. The set was 132 cards. And so a lot of them were brand new. But like I said, not a set that, well, it's not a set I played a lot. The big bonus was Gangrel. Now, if you loved Gangrel, this was your set because a lot of Gangrel vampires, even some reprints of some great vampires like Stanislava and stuff like that. So they reprinted some of the Gangrels in the set as well. And so this was a Gangrel intensity set, and that's going to reflect in my list for you today as well. So let's get to it, man. Let's rock and roll, shall we say. We're going to start at the number 10 slot. At the number 10 slot, we're going to start with a Weenie Dominate Bleed Vampire, because I like Weenie Dominate. So here we go. Leah Milliner coming in at the number 10 spot for me. Got that Dominate. It's a 3-cap. Plays right into my Weenie Dominate decks, and especially if you're playing in the groups 2-3, Leah's a great fix for that. Coming into the number 9 slot is Elizabeth Westcott. Good little vampire for Samisi at the 5-cap. You've got that superior aspects, and of course you've got the animalism that I like and stuff. So she fits right into the Samisi. She's a vampire you can put into your Samisi decks. Really good. And I also love the art. Love the British art and the rogue X-Man look, on her artwork there. Coming in at the number 8 spot, Michael Luther. This is really kind of a unique vampire in its ability because he's Camarilla, and you may tap Michael during a referendum to change the votes of a Camarilla vampire to votes of your choice. When Michael enters combat, you may draw a card, discard down to your hand size afterwards. So those are two really good abilities. The ability to change votes. You get into combat, you don't have the majesty in your hand. There you go. Good little vampire, 4-cap. It's even though the disciplines are inferior, his special is just so good that he's good in a lot of decks. He's good in a lot of decks. So there you go. And he hits that spot. Coming into the number 7 spot is Quentin King III, the advanced card. Of course, he's a Camarilla. And of course, if you can merge, if Quentin is ready during your untap phase, you may move 1 blood from the blood bank to a ready older vampire. Once each action, Quentin can burn a blood to get a +1 bleed. And of course, you've got 3 superior disciplines right there that fall right into that Malkavian mode, with the Demontation, Obfuscate, and the Aspects. You got 2 nice little inferior disciplines with the Presence and the Celerity. Good vampire, good fix. Can put him into a lot of your Malkavian decks, and I like him there at the number 7 slot. Coming in at number 6, of course, you know me, the man of the paw. Got to go with some Sundown. Sundown, good 6 capacity vampire. During a referendum, Sundown can burn 1 blood to gain 1 vote. So he also, even though he doesn't have a title, gets you the vote. But man, for me, I've got superior potence, I got superior animalism, I got a little aspects, a little presence, and he's 6 capacity. He's well worth the cost, especially for a combat vampire. And so there you go. And I love the artwork for Sundown too. That's some cool art. Here we go. Number 5, getting into another Ravnos, and Etienne Fallberg is a good Ravnos vampire. 8 capacity. You got 4 superior disciplines. Independent. D actions directed to Etienne cost 1 additional blood when in combat with Bali or followers of Set. Etienne's hand damage is aggravated, which is really good for me. Love that stuff, you know that. So, you can carrying crows with him, aid for bats, press, get into the next round, stay close, blur, and just have fun. So he's a very good combat vampire. 8 capacity, fits really good into a Ravnos deck. Love it. Now we get into this next series of vampires. These next 3 vampires are just, they're going to go right into your big, Gangrel deck. Zayat the Sandstorm. Love the artwork in this too, by the way. He's got all the great Gangrel disciplines. You got Animalism, you got Fortitude, you got Protean. You then got some inferior aspects, Quietus and Thaumaturgy. Now, he gets 2 votes, and he can move up to 3 blood from himself to a younger vampire in your uncontrolled region as a +1 stealth action. So he has his own version of a govern. And once each turn, he can burn 2 blood to get +2 stealth for the current action. And so if you needed to get in that big bleed, you can. So what I like about him is, man, he's got some versatility to him. So using his special, the blood doesn't really affect me that much as a player, especially when I'm playing him, because you get into a combat and you can taste that blood right back up. So it's not like, it's a complete loss. So, you can take his special action, you can then freak drive unlock, you can then enter a combat, you can taste the blood that you lost, So really, really good vampire, fits into the big Gangrel deck. Xavier falls into the number 3 spot. And Xavier has 2 votes, and he can prevent 1 damage each combat. Once each combat before range is determined, he may burn 2 blood to get +2 strength for the remainder of combat. So here we go. This is another great banger. Once again, you can vote with these Gangrels, these large cap Gangrels. It doesn't all have to be just Stanislava. You can play with these other guys and have some fun with them. Just a good combat vampire. The idea that you can then, use them in a vote deck or in a Gangrel vote scenario as well is just icing on the cake. So another big banger there. Now we going into it. The best one of the bunch for the Gangrel to me out of this set is Karsh. Karsh, you got 5 superior disciplines at the 10 gap. And he may enter combat with a tapped non-Camarilla vampire as a D action. I love that. Once each round, he can burn a blood to treat aggravated damage as normal damage for the current round. And so you've got those beautiful 5 combat disciplines. I mean, they are literally just 5 combat disciplines. And he's a great 1 vampire kind of guy. You can build your entire deck around him in combat. And so just a great vampire. He falls into the number 2, but he doesn't beat my number 1 because I do love playing the number 1 guy here as a solo act. It doesn't bother me none. He's a lot of fun. Christopher Halton. What a great vampire, man. You got your 5 superior disciplines and a little tiny potence, but you got superior aspects, celerity, dominate, presence, protean. Great ability. Once each combat, Christopher may burn 1 blood before range is determined to get first strike that round. Then to top it off, during your untap, choose a ready minion until your next untap, he gets +2 intercept to block that minion. So you're setting yourself up to do some major damage on a vampire, and especially with the first strike, he was just built for fun. He's a great vampire to do a lot of 1 vampire stuff. And don't forget with the Protean, you stick a Homunculus on him and you're unlocking at the beginning of everybody's turn, and he's just set to block. He's just set to go out and do things. And then with the Dominate, then you've got Bounce Bleed, okay, or Obedience if you so choose, okay. And then with the celerity, you've got the additional strikes. A little potent, still gives you the, you know, a little bang for your buck there. Can't complain with that. But there you go, Christopher Houghton. Gang, that's my top 10 list. Give me yours. Tell me which top 10 vampires you like out of Anarchs, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care.